Good afternoon, and welcome to our 45th Global Connectivity Conference on real estate for CIPS only. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm your host, and I welcome Gina Duncan. She's joining us, and hopefully we'll have more friends will join us today. On behalf of Realty Coffee Talk, myself, my family, I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Hope that you invite your less fortunate people on the dining table and celebrate the day. Thank you very much. So before we do the program, I'm going to discuss about a very important topic because I'm a licensed builder in Ontario and also real estate professional. I also own a mortgage company. And we have a biggest challenge sometimes when people come to us to legalize a basement or a structural renovation into the house, and you discover them after the deal is closed. It creates lots of problem, obligation part of the realtors. So I'm going to do a small presentation and explain you. There is a flyer already on LinkedIn. I believe I share on our Global Real Estate Professional Network and all my social media, and I'd be happy to answer your question. So let's do the presentation and hopefully that you will learn from it, or you can share your experience. We will have open discussion about this. So let's start the program. So I'm going to share my screen, and here you go. So I'm going to close this one, and this is where we are starting. So beginning. So why and when you need a building permit? When you try to build a new house, you need a building permit, okay? And then when you're living in a house, we are in a real estate resale business, and many times you will come across people, they have finished the basement, they have done structural changes without building permit. And this is a big challenge for realtors to deal with. So we're going to talk about a few things here today. When you need a building permit. So a building permit is an official approval. Let me shorten this up here. Approval by your local municipality that allows you or a hired contractor to construct something new or remodel an existing structure on your property, such as removing a load-bearing wall, structural changes, constructing a bathroom, a kitchen, side entrance door, addition or finishing basement. These are when you really need a building permit. I'll give you an example. If you add a bathroom, it will require additional water. If you add a kitchen, I'm talking about additional, not the original one. You need a water calculation because if you have a certain water line that is coming from the main, from the city to your property. And if the load of water pressure is higher because you increase that, the pipeline that coming from the main, from the city to your house also has to change. And similarly, if you need a side entrance, you are trying to create a rentable basement and you want a separate side entrance, you are changing structural. You are poking the wall, taking down, and you're putting there, you need to have a building permit. Or you're extending, you're increasing the space in your house by adding a solarium or addition, you need a building permit. Or you're finishing your basement for personal enjoyment or basement for renting a legal basement. You need a building permit. Yeah. Now, why you need a building permit? This is very, very important for you to know. Every municipality has different rules as expectation for building permits. So each province, each state, each city has its own rules. There are general rules which apply federally, provincially, or statewide, all municipalities. But you have to follow them because you need to submit to your local city for permit. So the following are the main reason you need a building permit. Structure stability. When your building is originally designed, it is calculated, the load bearing walls are created, and the complete structure is reviewed by structural engineers, architect, designer, engineers, everything. So you are not going to change any structural changes. If you do that, you need a building permit. This is why you need a building permit. Now, compliance with the building, construction, and zoning codes. So building codes, because of safety issue, there are in Ontario, we have Ontario building codes. That means we follow the building code of Ontario. This is give structure stability and finishes and comfort for the human use, occupancy. Therefore, it's very important. So we have to follow construction and zoning bylaws, codes, to make sure everything is done. And so you have a structure, you're complying with the building, construction, and zoning codes. That's why you need a building permit. Adherence to the federal, provincial, and local regulation. We have to follow all these regulations when we are building a house. I'm a licensed builder in Ontario. My license number is with HCRA is B63247. So I have to follow the law. I have to follow the building codes and all those construction material specification, code of ethics to use, and workmanship, quality control, and local regulations, safety, people, worker safety, everything is included. So you have to follow these laws. They are there to protect consumer. And this is why, this is why it's very important that you follow them. Now, the homeowners, personal and public safety. So when people are living in their house, if you remove a load-bearing wall, sooner or later your roof will collapse because it is no longer holding the weight. That's why lots of people don't pay attention why they need this. This is the reason. Your personal safety and safety of the public. When you have visitor coming to your house and you have done renovation and structurally change something, you're going to have a problem. And this is why you need to do that. And obviously, we have to, let me go back again. And I have to move this up. So minimization of health and safety risks. This is very important because you're doing structural changes or you're doing things in the house and safety risk because if building collapse and you also build this house or you renovated something without building permit and something happens to you, your house insurance will not cover it because you cannot change anything without engineering stamp on the work that you're doing. So health and safety is a big issue because type of material you use is also critical. And this is why it's very, very important that you pay attention to when you're buying and selling and assisting. Ask these questions to your seller or the buyer when you're buying it. Discuss with that. So I summarize everything in this flyer, give you what you need. It is already shared on Global Real Estate Professional Network. If you need it, I'd be more than happy to share with you, and you can copy it and you have an idea. When you're buying and selling, ask question. In Ontario, we have a seller checklist where we ask these questions. When did you buy the property? Did you make any changes? Have you done this? We have a list of things that we check to make sure the house is not, no modification has been made. And this is very, very important for you. So we're going to take a short break from this one. And I'm going to ask Gina if she has any questions. I'm going to stop sharing. So Gina, this was a small list. You mentioned about some problem that you faced. You want to share your experience?
Yes, Tahir. I did recently have an experience, and it was actually not with the house. It was with the septic tank that a prior owner had installed that they didn't disclose many years ago when my client bought the house, that they had not permitted the septic tank. So now that certain septic tank, we had to do some research to find out what kind it was. And we found out that that tank no longer is acceptable by our county here. So by not knowing when they purchased the home, and unfortunately, I was not their agent when they purchased, or we would have checked that. But unfortunately, now they're going to have to either give a credit for a new septic tank or replace the one that they have and make it fully permitted. So that's
Yeah,
very important to check your permits when you're purchasing or selling a house.
exactly. A few years back, I have a client. I bought them a 1 acre land with a house, and there was a septic tank and also the water well. So you also have to look at the gallon per minute production from the water well, a type of the well, and what is the condition, when was the last time expected. And similarly, your septic tank, you mentioned that I have very specific requirement because you need to look at the contamination of the property in your area, because if the septic tank is old, lots of older home, 30, 40 years, they need to replace their septic tanks. It can cost you $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 to replace in Ontario, depending on the size of your house. And not because what happened is if you are go visiting the houses, then you can see where the septic tank is, you will see some saturation of land, and you see the water. And because if it's not functioning properly, you will see contamination. You can smell also. And this is why, and sometimes the septic tank is far away from the house. So unless you really know what you're doing, you can run into a problem and a possible a claim against you because you represented them as a realtor. And this is why it's very important to hire qualified people who understand what's going on and how it's to be dealt. And
Exactly.
And recently, I'm working with a client. They bought the property, not through me, the brokerage, and they found out the basement was built without a permit. So city came after them, and they need to replace that. So I'm helping them out, getting a building permit, designing everything, and we learned that the water pressure was not adequate. So that means we have to change the main line to bring more water because they added a bathroom. So city is saying since you build an illegal basement, you need to have a building permit because your water capacity, because you change the laundry, you're putting a new laundry room, you're putting a new kitchen, you're getting a bathroom. If your capacity of the water line from the city to your house is, let's say, 3/4 inch, and you need to have a 1 inch, so it's building a pressure. If you do any work, and I learned quite a interesting story from people. Some of the people recently had a fire in their house in the basement. They rented the basement, and the tenant did not leave the stove off. They left it on. It burned the house. And it's over $2 million house, and those people on the street because insurance company saying we're not going to pay you because you did not have a building permit to build your second dwelling. And this is where I've been now. I'm a licensed builder, so I can talk about these things and why it's important. And when we're buying and selling real estate, to ask this question. I'm right now in a process, probably considering a property where they converted a garage to a in-law suite without building permit, without legal permit or calculation for the bathroom or the water heating requirement. Is in a rural area, and they have a septic tank, and they don't have to do anything with the city, but it creates lots of challenges now to convert back the garage into original condition or get it legalized. So you have to go to city. City might penalize you why you did this without permission. So the purpose of this short was that I created this flyer 3 days ago. I thought this we can discuss this because this is very, very important for all of us to understand why building permit is needed, especially in Canada, in particular in Ontario, because affordability is a big issue. Interest rate has doubled, and anybody who's renewing the mortgage right now is paying more than double what they're paying for the last couple of years. So they need extra income. And if you have a house and you have a difficulty in paying your mortgage, what do? You borrow money and build your basement and have an income flow, so you qualify. In 25, I'm expecting lots of people may not qualify for the mortgage. We have challenges in terms of affordability in Ontario. I would say across Canada. But if you have people who have equity, who are able to draw money, I have drawn money from home to support myself because it's tough time for everybody. Okay, so this is very important that legalize the basement, for example, to generate income. If you are doing a structure changes, a lot of people are saying, instead of me buying a property, I can't afford it. Let's do renovation. Let's knock down our wall. And when you're knocking down the wall, they're load bearing. You're creating a structural change, and that requires a building permit, regardless of. And you can beautify. Older structure have a lot of walls, separate rooms. Now is open concept. So you need to, if you are removing a structural wall, you need an architect and a structural engineer to calculate what can be done to remove a wall. So make sure it doesn't affect the load bearing of the house. And because everything is depending on those columns that you have to support or the wall. The older home has a wall, whereas some are using beams and structural, things that you can modify easily. So this is why it's very important to raise the concern that when you are buying or selling a home, please ask this question: was the basement was done recently? Did you have a building permit? In our experience is a lot of people say seller does not represent or warrant retrofit status of the basement. What does that mean? You have violated the Planning Act, zoning bylaws, and you are selling this and you're dumping that to the buyer now. It's going to cost money because when you are doing this renovation, first of all, you need a survey of the property. If you don't have a survey property and you don't have a footprint of where the house is located, you have to order survey. Depending on the size, it can cost you $5,000 to $10,000 survey because they need to show the footprint. Second thing, you got to have a floor plan for your house, a stamp by engineer how this structure is built. Can cost you money. And then you have to say, what changes are you making to your house? And that's separate drawing. This exists as it is, and this is to be done now with the changes that you're doing when you're supplying it. And then you have to, especially the basement, you say, oh, this is somebody who has done illegal basement. They need to show what stands now, what needs to be removed, and what needs to be rebuilt. Or if you don't have a basement, then you can say, yeah, it's empty, I'm building a new one. Because the city can penalize you for building something without permit. And these are the things I'm sharing so everybody understand that. And when they're dealing with buyers and trying to acquire a property, make sure that they don't come back to haunt you, because if the buyer has spent money and with what's going on, they put lots of money now, and the upfront money, they have no money for renovation. And the moment they learn there is an illegal basement, it generates income, but they don't understand that there is a risk involved because there's no building permit. In case of a fire, you will not get a penny from the insurance company. And this is why it's very, very important to have insurance, have a building permit, so you are secure and you're done your good job. And it's a part of our competency. We are licensed professionals. And we are dealing with the biggest financial decision of a family to buy a house, right? And this is very important for all of us to pay attention to the data when we are showing. So if you are in a city or you're in an outskirt, you have to look at, because outskirt, you will be looking at septic tank, environmental issues. You are looking at septic tank and water well, where the water is coming. Quantity of the water, purity of the water for human consumption, or filtration they have installed to make sure that it is good for human consumption. And also flow. If you don't have a city water, because you're not paying anything, then you have to see how much pump is output is every 1 minute, how many gallons they're producing it. So I did that for I would say about 3-4 years ago, and we were able to negotiate almost $25,000-$50,000 price reduction because of that. Septic tank needs to be replaced. We took a quotation and we say change the price. Water they install we'll call a UV system, because UV system is required to eliminate the odor. So there are many issues that we have to pay attention. And if you have a expert or qualified person within your group, instead of losing a business, work with people, share the pie with your associate who has experience and use them. And this is very important. And I think we all share that experience like you are sharing with us. And this is I've been educating this to everyone to take advantage of that, pay attention, legal issues, liabilities, insurance, even though we carry insurance for what we do, but we also responsible to do our due diligence. It's part of the due diligence. Similarly, when we are building new homes, we have so many things that I've been streamlining, educating. A lot of episode I've done is just to educate everybody that we are here and with confidence. We are building consumer confidence to do business with realtors, because we are expert in our fields. We have special designations, and we know what we're doing. And this is why they come to us for buying and selling real estate. So Gina, anything else you want to add to it before I do a small presentation on the market, and you can tell me your market as well?
I think to hear your points to our responsibility to our clients are right on point, and also that the insurance will not cover. That's the biggest issue I think clients do not understand. If they're purchasing or living in unpermitted things, that the insurance is not going to protect them. And that's huge. So thank you for making those 2 points.
Yeah, I know one of I mentioned is over $2 million house. The whole family is on the street, but small mistake, not adding money. And this is why it's very important for realtors when you are discussing your. I always say a buyer checklist. If you probably have seen my presentation checklist, when you create a budget when they're buying a property to make sure there is a contingency funds for things. And not only hire qualified professionals. Now I am telling realtors, even my own, we have only 2 people, not many, that hire us. We will provide engineering services, because my Tixon Construction Inc. is a licensed builder. We do inspection for commercial residential properties for technical reasons to make sure your building is in compliance. And if there is any modification that has been done, we check it out with the city to make sure there is permit issued or not issued. And also we try to find out if they have a floor plan for the building when it was approved. Unfortunately, mostly city by law, they only keep the record for 7 years. After that, they have no obligation. And sometimes you end up paying more money to build a floor plan and things. And it's very costly, but you have to do it. Especially when you're applying for a building permit and you don't have any boundary survey or footing topographic survey, you need one. Again, a cost, if you're going north, I'm working on it right now, a 10-acre land. Luckily, they have the survey. And if I have to use somebody else, I'm talking about $10,000 to create one. And this is important. Floor plan, normally we ignore, oh, house is already there, but you never know when you decide to upgrade. If your house is 30, 40 years old, you want to upgrade, where is your floor plan? You don't have it? Okay, it's going to cost you money because engineer has to go and calculate and stamp on the drawing. This is what it is now, and this is what's going to be changing it. Because I'm a licensed builder, so I know all these steps now. And I'm educating realtors to make sure they don't make mistakes. And this is very critical now. And obviously, city, you have water capacity issues, you have boundary issues, you have fencing issues. That's why boundary survey is very, very important to know where your property starts, where it ends. So make sure that you're living or nobody is entering into your area, because this happens. And obviously, sometimes the family grows and you are a small family living in a small home. And instead of buying a new property, affordability is issue, you want to add something to your house. And in that case, you need to put together a package. This is what we do. We do engineering services. We do building permits, site plan approvals, subdivisions, everything, construction management, and all the work. So this is what all knowledge that I have, I'm sharing with our realtor friends so they don't make any mistake. It doesn't matter. As a CIPS, we have, I'm also instructor with NAR with CIPS. So we have global connectivity. We have a global network where we have each CIPS is qualified within their jurisdiction. And this is why we create a partnership and do business with each other. So I think, Gina, I'm going to do the presentation and then you can, stay on and very quickly we're going to go through it and we can chat. And it looked like everybody is on what they call Thanksgiving preparation. So I'm going to change this. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Okay, and that one. Okay, now I'm going to close this one. Don't save. And I'm going to bring this down to make sure, and we're going to start this here. So, well, this is our 45th Global Connectivity Conference, consecutively 45 months. It's a record breaking, isn't it, Gina?
Absolutely. It's been great.
And idea again is sharing knowledge, because we are CIPS. And Realty Coffee Talk is the power of connectivity. And I can tell you with the Zoom and with all our virtual transformation, I am so feel comfortable and proud what I have connected and what I was able to achieve. So the Realty Coffee Talk is the founding organization where I started this program. I used to do this in a community center. When COVID hit us, we went to a TV, and from there I connected through everybody. And CIPS gave me the power to connect with my global partner. So the reason is creative connectivity. That's the main theme of this Realty Coffee Talk. We need to increase awareness and building consumer confidence in real estate. Awareness is where we talk about market updates, we talk about buying and selling experience, like we talk about why and when we need a building permit, these kind of education program. Secondly, anytime regulation changes or our organized real estate changes bylaws or code of ethics, we always share with people, we advise our consumer. So we are building confidence so they can do business with us and promote good ethics and business practices. So the word is in your hand. You are a CIPS. You have a power in your hand because you're connected around the world. I can assist all my clients, Canadian, who wants to buy a property anywhere in the world because I have partners. Gina is there. If you need any help, we will tell you later on all the location where we are. So the global real estate profession is a powerful global connectivity network to get to know each other, why we're meeting, building long-term relation. You'll be surprised. Recently, I have referred 20 houses to one realtor in Rochester about 2 weeks ago, or maybe more than 2 weeks ago. 20 houses. Imagine that in Rochester and Buffalo from my client from Brampton. Why was I able to do that? And I thankfully, Yoshi, he is the one who recommended me CIPS partner. This is the power of connecting. It took a lot of patience to continue to do this, and eventually it comes. My goal is to ignite the spirit of connectivity. That's a really important thing. And cooperation within our Global Real Estate Profession Network. The people who are part of my group, we have a Facebook, we have a WhatsApp group, we are available to communicate. And we have more confidence when we're making referral to our CIPS partner because they have the jurisdiction. We have to watch. I have jurisdiction in Ontario. If you make a referral to me, I can help anybody in Ontario. But if I have to refer somewhere in United States, other areas, I have to refer to my partner who actively participate and join our conversation. And we are governed, we are professionally governed by the highest professional standard and practice as by CIPS designee of NAR. I reemphasize, we have a CIPS designation, we have a NAR code of ethics, we have a regulatory requirement code of ethics and compliance regime. We have to follow those things very strictly. Good ethic is good business. This is a new geographic map of Toronto Regional Real Estate Board. We are a member of that, and now it has increased. Membership has increased, and we are projecting that the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board is world's largest real estate board, which covers every area, believe me, across Canada. They're putting it. We can promote your listing in my system here, anywhere in the United States, anywhere in the world. And this is geographic area that covers that I deal with it in real estate transactions. So here's a statistic about most recent October sale that shows up. So our detached home, we have two sections. One is 416 is kind of strictly Toronto area, east, west, center Toronto. So 416 is a detached home. Average price is 1,778,855, whereas 905 is 1,347,747. So this is an average price based on total transaction that I'm going to share with you. So they need to, viewers, if you're watching, you need to call your real estate professional or call my office, 905-785-9923, and we give you specific assessment for your property and what is estimated value of property. Very, very important. These are generic information for projection purposes, but your property, your street, your neighborhood, every price is different from the size. Each house is different. Semi, we have a 1,315,547 in 416 and 952,256. So basically 905 area is around Toronto, Mississauga, Brampton, Oakville, Milton, Oshawa. These are 905 areas. So the 416 is strictly Toronto area. So you can see that the average between two of them, 905, 416, they're showing the average on the right side. I'm giving you very specific to the location. So townhouse in Toronto is 1,032,959, whereas the average price in 905 is 892,106. And this is a Canadian dollar, so it's cheaper than the price in the United States. Condo apartment, 721,366 in 416 and 637,332 in 905. Again, it does not mention the size, the rooms, bedroom, bathrooms, lot size, anything. These are average based on total transaction. So in detached home, there are 3,139 transactions. Semi has a 612 transaction in both locations. And townhouse, 1,123, and condo apartment, 1,722. These are the total transaction for each category in this area. So you notice that the detached home sold 3,139, a lot more sold in this area. So year-over-year change in terms of sale price, and also the average price. So this is the average price area, and this is the sale transaction. Now, this is the percentage of change year-over-year. Detached home, 416, 44.2% change. 47.5% change. So average 46.6% change. But the average price, 416 and 905. So there is an increase as compared to 24. There is a 4.4% increase in average price, whereas 905 is minus 0.1. Similarly, semi-detached, I would just go here, average 44% increase in sale in October 23 to 24. And average price increase, semi-detached, 3.3% in 905, 416, and minus 0.4 in 905 area. Townhouse, 56% increase in sale year over year from 23 to 24, October. So there is an increase 1.3% townhouse average price, minus 1.4% 905 area. Again, condo, 33% average, 33.4% in sales increase, minus 1% in 416 and minus 4.3 in 905 area. So they'll give you what's going on as compared to October. So you can see this here. This is a summary, year-over-year summary. So sales up 44.4% as compared to October last year. New listing increased 4.3% as compared to 23-24. We had 14,700. Now it's 15,328. Now active listing, 25.3%. In 23, we have 19,536. Now we have a 24,481. You know why? Affordability is a big issue. People can't afford it. Renewals are coming. People get panicked. They need to know, can they afford it? And if they can't, because interest rate is double. Believe me, is double. More than double, actually. And that's the concern, is even though interest rate is going down, the issue is you're going to lose your shirt if you can't pay the mortgage. You cannot. It's better to sell off. And most likely, a lot of transactions are expected in 25. There will be a lot more sales, and interest rates are going down, and we're projecting another reduction from the Bank of Canada, maybe half a point, hopefully on 11 December. That will change a lot in affordability issues. And also, the federal government has, OFC has removed the stress test for renewal of your current mortgage. So you can shop around, and you don't need to stay with your existing lender. The reason that is the stress test is about 2% of the contract rate. If they give you 4% interest rate, but they will approve you based on 6%. So they qualify you. And this is strictly for equity owner who are 20% and up, going conventional mortgage where the bank taking the risk, and they are allowing now homeowners to go and get a separate quote from other lenders to hunt for a better rate. As for disclosure, I am a principal broker and president of Canada Express Mortgage. We have a license, FISRA license 13241, so I can give advice. So I have a real estate brokerage, mortgage brokerage, and construction company with a licensed builder. So I'm able to give opinion on all three sides which relates to real estate, so can help. Now, average price, you can see average price increased 1.1% as compared to 23-24. So it was 1,123,390. Now is 1,135,215. So it has increased in 24. It appears to me this average price is higher than for this month is higher than the average for 2023. I'll show you the sheet. So average list day on the market is 28.6. It increased from 21 days to 27 days now. And property day on the market is 30% increase, 33 to 43 is taking much longer. So this shows you the graph of the 44% sale. Now, I want to show you this. I'm going to put Gina here. If you can see there, this is a historic data. 2011, our average home was 464,989. And 2022, after 10 years, average price was 1,197,40 average price in 2022. So in 2023, average price was 1,126,279 based on 65,884 transactions. We are at 58,435,000. Our average price, considering 10 months, is 1,121,871. So you can see this here, average price for October, 1,135,215 is higher than annual average price of 1,126,279. But if you count all the reduction and progress, you see that average price so far based on number of transactions, I am not sure we ever be able to meet or exceed the 2023 transactions. Most likely it's possible because you're talking about two, I would say 7,000 transaction. I'm very positive that we will be able to exceed the number of transactions in 2024 unless something different happens, but average price will increase. So this is the Canadian Real Estate Association projection forecasting in terms of sales and also for average price. So Canada-wide, we are expected to have a Canada-wide percentage of change, 5.2% sale increase from compared to 23. And in 25, we're expected 6.6% across Canada. Please note that these figures does not include the sale by the construction company or the licensed builders across Canada. These are through the MLS system that is regulated by Canadian Real Estate Association through the local board. So I am in Ontario. So you see this 22 to 23, we were minus 12.3% in sale. In 24, we are expected to have 1.5% sale increase. And in 25, they're projecting 9.9% sale increase in terms of sale across Canada based on Korea. Yeah. So this is not remain the same forecasting which I shared with you last month. So average Canada-wise, this is an average price forecast from Canadian Real Estate Association. 22 or 23, we were minus 3.7%. But this time they're saying in 24, we will be 0.9 plus. So there will be about 1% increase. And we already showing in October 1.1% increase as compared to last October. And now you can see Canada-wise in 25, the average price is expected to increase 4.4%, which is kind of normal, 3 to 4.5%. So we are in Ontario. We were minus 6.3 in 23 as compared to 22. We are minus, they're showing minus 1.6 right now. This is based on Canadian Real Estate Association. Average price is 24. And if you look at the 25, they're saying 2.4% increase in average price in Ontario. This is coming from Canadian Real Estate Association because they use they control MLS system across Canada. So Toronto Regional Real Estate Board is the biggest MLS board in Canada or maybe around the world actually. But there are other boards who run their own MLS systems, and therefore Canada has a total transaction from all of them. So this is give you idea. Gina, we went through with this. You're familiar with this, right?
Yes, Tahir, I am.
Yeah. So this is very, very important. I always say prepare checklist. And this is the checklist that I talk about when you're talking about those building permits, septic tank, environmental, all those things, any addition to the house, any structure modification to the house, finished basement, legal basement. And these are the checklists I always prepare for my client when I'm dealing with it. So I'm not going to spend time because you're already familiar with that. Similarly, same thing, when we go through the process, this is already shared, you're familiar with that, because we are real estate professional, CIPS, we deal with the foreign buying, so this is why it's very important to have these things, how we do it in Canada and Ontario. And these, again, summary of sheet, just to touch base, estimating closing costs. This is where I was talking about creating your budget, and you have to make sure. Let's assume your buyer clients go and visit the house. They love the house, but they say they don't like the window. They don't like the floor. They want to upgrade the kitchen. So those are not part of the purchase price. You negotiate the price based on those, but then you have to have a budget for innovation. And this is why if you set up a line for innovation and ask them, and you talk to a network, and this is why I created Realty Coffee Talk, the power of connectivity. I have any contractor, anybody you think of, I have on my network, the lawyer, the builders, the construction and renovation, plumber, electrician, painter, they're part of it. And do a coffee talk, set up a coffee talk. I give you the rights to set up a coffee talk in your town. Invite them to the coffee talk. And you can use, with a small consent, I can give you, you can use this is a coffee talk. I inviting you for a cup of coffee. This is how it started 10 years ago, where I invite people to the coffee talk, buy them a donut and a coffee, and we talk about real estate. You're not buying and selling anything, but you're educating people. And I recommend that if anybody wants to use my trademark, I'm more than happy to share with you guys. As long as you just put the coffee talk there, your flyer, I'm okay. You don't need to owe me nothing. It's just to promote networking, how you connect with people, invite them to your backyard, barbecue, connect with them, and educate them what's going on in the market in your area. And this is why how Realty Coffee Talk started almost a decade ago. And from there, I went to the community center because I can't handle the crowd. My wife used to say, oh, I got too many people, I can't handle them. So I went to the community center. From there, when COVID hit us, we went to television, and I'm still on the television. Tonight, I have a show also on television, and that's where I download my copy and I put it on my YouTube channel. So this cost estimating is very, very important. If you are inviting people who are thinking of buying and selling real estate, you can invite them a coffee talk, and this is Realty Coffee Talk is about that. Non-residents and and foreign buyers pay speculation tax. So there is a prohibition for the non-resident to buy residential homes because of shortage of homes. But there are some exemption now. If non-citizen residents, some people come on a building permit, there is exception now I'm going to share with you that can buy the property as long as they are 183 days in Ontario, in anywhere in Canada. But in Ontario, there is a 25% speculation tax. And I have one client, they were ready to buy from me for $1.5 million. And I helped them to get their building legal permanent residence, but they could not pay the 25% speculation tax. Now they can buy it, and they're thinking about buying it. And also when you're buying and selling international property, there is a clearance required from CRA because you're non-residents, and the law will hold about 30% of your cost before they release any money to you. They will pay, they go to CRA, submit your tax information, and CRA say how much money they owe. The lawyer will send the money, the balance given to the seller. And we also need a consultant with a chartered accountant to make sure that you are checking the tax implication when you're buying and selling real estate. And a consumer, you always have to hire a lawyer to close a deal, because there are lots of issues which I discussed in my previous list that the lawyers are the one. We will negotiate an agreement of purchase and sale, and all the backup we give it to the lawyer, and the mortgage also arranged through the lawyer will have to collect the money. Borrower cannot get the money, it goes to the lawyer. And also, buyer can and secure a mortgage financing depending on and this is arranged with that. So I have a Canada Express Mortgage Inc., which I said license number 13241. I have brokers who will deal with the financing, and we deal with that. And buying real estate is not related to immigration. It is a totally separate process. Lots of people, I don't know the different rules in the United States or other areas, but this is very important. There's a completely separate process. So Realty Coffee Talk.
To learn more about real estate and mortgages, please visit Realty Coffee Talk and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you. To learn more about real estate
I slide this
and mortgages,
okay. So
please
anyway,
visit to learn more about.
So you are a member of that. So I didn't get a chance to change the date. This is 25th was today. I didn't get to change our next one, will be 46. So I will be changing that. Thank you very much. So Tina, what do you think?
Well, very great topics today, with the zoning, the permitting, non-permitted issues. It's very important we bring those to our clients' attention before they buy, not after. But equally, as I shared with my story, I have a seller now that is running into a permit issue that he didn't know about when he purchased from a different person years ago, and now it's affecting his sale. So permitting is a very important topic. I was very interested to see that your market in Toronto is very similar to our market here in Hawaii. Our median sales price on Maui is 1.3 residential and 882.5 for condo. Maui, we're having some advocacy issues with what the mayor's proposed. Hopefully our county council will fight back against it. We'll see. But it's made 10 months of inventory now for condominium on Maui, 141 days on market for condos and 127 for homes. Those include 30 days of escrow. Oahu is a better situation. Oahu, we have 1.1 median sales price for residential, and we have 525,000 for condominium. And the days on the market are under 40 days for both. So very quick turnaround. A lot more population, of course, in Honolulu. So very good talking points today, Tahir. Thank you.
Yeah, very welcome. I recently attended in my community. There was a builder came up with a high-rise building. This is a gated community where I live. We have gates on 4 corners of our access to our property. They're building a high-rise building, and I am going to be part of the team Neighborhood Watch. We have a builder through the counselor. I attended the meeting, and we gave them a list of things, and they wanted to zoning allows only 4-story building in a luxurious area. People live in 35, 40 years. Most of them are 3 garage houses, big houses. And
yes,
they are building, and we have a small plaza, and they're converting plaza to a three towers. And the entrance from that road coming from one of the road is so small, people who attended the meeting have a difficulty to travel. It took them local street, and they are saying and everybody in the community is a professional, well-established people. So we have very good presentation, and I probably will be part of the team who will be protesting. And what they want is the 3 towers, 34-story, 31-story, 28-story.
Oh my gosh, that's going to bring so much
every house,
traffic.
they can poke into somebody's house.
Yes.
And law allows only 4-story building. And
Interesting. I
we have no
wonder.
objection to the 4-story, but not 34-story high. And
Mhm.
privacy is a big issue, and demographic will change. We have about, I would say, 350 to 400 houses in our gated community. And this apartment will have about 1,200 houses, units.
Oh, wow.
And imagine the parking. They didn't disclose any information before. So they haven't submitted this anything to our counselor arrange a orientation. So they took a feedback, very strong feedback from us.
Mhm.
And this is why it's very important for especially realtors. If there is a site plan approval or there is a submission in the city, and if you have a clientele in that area, attend those meetings. And
Yes.
I think
Yes.
I'm going to zoning. I'm going to do a small presentation next one about zoning, impact of zoning in your area. And I share
And
this.
you have to advocate. There's laws that are being proposed in Hawaii that they're looking at vacant taxes on vacant homes, and there's so many things that as realtors we should be mindful of and we should be involved in to, let our clients' voices be heard. And ours, of course. The other big issue we're having in Hawaii is insurance. The cost of insurance just more than tripled, and buildings are getting assessments of $7,000 per unit, plus their rates went up for their maintenance fees, so that's making condominium living very unaffordable. That's reflected, of course, in our inventory here being so high for condominium. And with the age of our buildings and many of them needing new piping and Honolulu mandating sprinklers in buildings over 4 stories, there's so many issues that we face in this profession. So I thank you for bringing topics that are timely and of interest for us and for our clients.
Well,
And I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. I have
happy
to go cook
Thanksgiving.
my turkey.
Thank
So
you very much. Thank you for coming. Thank you very much, viewers. Today is our 45th Global Connectivity Conference. Next will be 46th on a holiday. I don't know whether we should do it a little bit early because it's coming on 26th rather than after Christmas. So maybe we think about change. Any suggestion that we can do it one day before or after?
I would say the 24th to the 26th, at least in the US, people have checked out. So maybe a different day.
Yeah, so I'm going to propose maybe close to like 22nd range rather than they did, just for one day. And so we have a whole overlook at what happened in 2024, and we have some understanding and some prediction, and we will invite people to give us ideas what they're going. So I thank you very much. So we're going to decide on the date. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you, for Gina, for joining. And also, I wish all our CIPS friends and partners a happy Thanksgiving. And we'll see you next, our last episode for this year. And I'll give you an announcement. Take care. Bye for now. May God bless you all. May God bless everybody. Thank you. Bye for now.